You're not lazy, you're probably just misaligned. What do we mean by that? So, self compassion as an entrepreneur is like not talked about enough. And that is probably one of the reasons why 72% of entrepreneurs also report feeling things like not feeling like they're in alignment with what their purpose is and what they're constantly building for themselves in their business. You don't need more motivation. You don't need any more motivation. You need to feel aligned with your purpose. There is so much more to entrepreneurship than just grinding, grinding, grinding. And I feel like I've been talking about that in the past two videos too. But in this video is different because we're going to really dive into what it's like to deal with like needing to have compassion for yourself and also taking, L's sometimes with grace and for your greatest good sometimes too. So if you guys don't know, I am Naima and I am an entrepreneur. I have my own wellness brand by the name of Pine House, and I also help build brands. And I've been a brand strategist for the past, I've been a brand strategist for around 8 years now. And I started off with building e-commerce platforms. And always looking for I'm also looking for girlies to join my new community that I'm starting. And a lot of the times, entrepreneurs and people who are whether it be aspiring business owners, or if you're just a person who's just, looking to get something started and going for yourself, it's super okay to feel unmotivated at times. Feeling unmotivated is probably one of the most human emotions, especially in this day and age. Being and coming from a place where as though like you're feeling super unmotivated, it can be hard, very difficult to like get out of that feeling and get yourself into a better place, mentally of course, and also like physically of like living the life that you desire to live, to having good friends, to having the business that you are trying to build for yourself. And in that, it's like so many lessons to be learned. A lot of the times people only show like the successes of building something amazing like a business, and no one really ever shows the downside of what took to get there truly, and the price that it takes on people's on yourself really. And it's great to have entrepreneurs like Alex Harzamozy. I don't know how to say his last name. It's great to have, entrepreneurs like Alex Harzemoni to come on here and to talk about, entrepreneurship and really show the backstory of what it takes to get there, as well as the journey that it took them, failing, you know, going through things. And one of the greatest things about social media as well as like YouTube now is that you're able to kind of like make a documentary in real time for yourself. Not saying that everybody's going to be like the next Pepsi Cola founder or Coca Cola founder, but we can definitely aspire to those levels. And that's one of the great things about, manifesting almost like your future for yourself as an entrepreneur, because it is a level of manifesting that goes into building a business, because it literally just started. Your business, literally, if you are like me, just started with a piece of paper. Then it turned into things like tangible products. It turned into something that you can actually feel, hold, or use or sell to other people. And that's one of the greatest things about and fulfilling too. It's like that's actually really fulfilling too. Just to even create a product itself is like super amazing. Love creating new products, of course, and also being able to just see what it is that you desired from like just writing on a piece of paper just come to life, whether it be over a project that took like a few weeks, a few months, or some even projects take a few years, like ChatGPT, for example. These products and these businesses create impact and freedom, and they also take time to build. But in those moments, you need to find moments of clarity, and having clarity for yourself as an entrepreneur is super underrated. Having self-compassion is super underrated too. Self-compassion definitely is something that, so many people are definitely learning too, because it takes emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence and business kind of go hand in hand, whereas so you're constantly having to, not necessarily read other people, but to meet people where they're at, especially if you're going to be a person who is, working in person or even remotely with your employees, you're going to have to know when to, give support, to not necessarily lash out at anybody, but to make sure that you're giving the right support at the right time. That takes a high amount of emotional intelligence and sometimes emotional control. So having things like, books that you've read and things in your arsenal that you can keep in the forefront of your mind to really manage better, as well as to have self-compassion for yourself and set clear goals. Setting clear goals, that if there's not one thing that I'm talking about that you take from this video, is setting clear goals. Because one of the things that I've noticed is like, yes, you can have an amazing team, right? You can have a team that is like the best software developers. You're paying each of them, let's say it's a team of 6, you're paying them all 100K. That how much money is that? $500,000 plus 10, 100. So you're paying everybody $600,000 together, and you don't have a project manager. You just have software engineers. And you're building a product. Will that product actually launch on time with the right parameters built correctly? More than likely not, because you didn't decide to spend, $78 to $140,000 for a project manager for your project to be developed correctly. So things like that really are, that's an example of building a product or a service and it not coming to fruition because of the fact that it isn't organized correctly. And that also ties into things like clarity and having clarity in your business. So of course, that's just one really big over the top example. But having, smaller examples like you're an entrepreneur, you just launched a boutique, let's say, and you're outsourcing all of this labor and you're planning to add more products. But at the end of the day, you don't have an idea what your customers already want. You don't have an idea of what it is that you should be buying so that you can, sell price that makes sense. So you accidentally buy, a whole bunch of inventory that is not the products that your customers are looking to buy or purchase. And then you have to deal with that whole, debacle. That's just one instance of where it takes clarity in order to do that. And one of the things that really helps, along with the compassion, along with the clarity, is to really do research. That research that you do, and you take anything as like the research that you decide to do for that business is going to 9 times out of 10 lead you in a better spot. There's very rare that you have research and you find something that doesn't help you out. Doing deep dives into whether it be the industries that you would like to work in, that you're already working in, are super important to building that, even better rapport with people who are already working in your industry, and also building out businesses better. Because when you do that research, it tells you the things that you don't know. It tells you all the things that you don't know. So if you didn't know, girl, having this boutique, it's going to take this much to start up. It's going to, people are looking for and searching for this, because if you would have did the searches and you would have, found those resources through things like Google search. That's one of them. If you're selling on things like TikTok Shop, through TikTok Shop search. They also have their own analytics program. They also have, other different analytics websites where you can search up different keywords that customers like your customers are going to be looking for. And also doing things like Pinterest has each year a trends tool for those who are working in like things like fashion and beauty. They're going to tell you the beauty trends and fashion trends for the year. Before you can even like develop a product, you should already know those things. Okay, so that was a lot. That was a mouthful. But it's true of like having that clarity can definitely, almost like parting a storm system and giving yourself some sunshine to really get clear on the things that you weren't clear on or may not have been clear on in the past. And the truth is, like, tapping into that energy of manifesting, businesses for yourself, manifesting good and right partnerships and things like that. It definitely doesn't take overnight. it takes a lot of intentionality and attention to detail with that. But the first step in, really manifesting for yourself, of course, is clarity, getting right on your goals, and also productivity without burning out, or like dealing with like things like, like I said in the past, of like having a team that doesn't know what to do. That's like one of the worst situations to be in, especially just starting out. And also, like, overcoming hustle culture is definitely a thing that we definitely talk about on this channel. So make sure you guys definitely watch my last video for more about hustle culture. I am also looking for, if you guys are looking also to work with me about brand strategy, I am coming out with a bunch of products and offerings, so make sure that you guys are tapping into all of my links. You guys, you're definitely not going to miss out on what is to come for me, and definitely tap in, especially if you guys are looking for brand strategists, looking to build your brands and also websites. I have limited spaces, and limited time also. So make sure that you guys are all tapping into all of my links and offerings that I'm having as I'm coming out with them. If you guys have any questions or just want to connect about entrepreneurship, guys, I'm totally available. Make sure that you guys are, guys, I am definitely available to talk about entrepreneurship. Hit me up on X. I have X, Instagram, also probably LinkedIn. Don't hit me up on LinkedIn, I'm not gonna respond. But yes, guys, make sure that you hit me up on social media platforms, and also take a chance to subscribe, honey, because I am definitely going to be coming out with more videos. And allow yourself, if you took anything from this video, allow yourself to flow and to be aligned with the flow. Okay, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.